Hey church, it's Cam here. I want to ask you a question. Do you feel fenced in? Now clearly we all have some physical restrictions around us right now that can lead us to feeling pretty fenced in. But I'm not talking about that, I'm talking about in here. Do you feel fenced in on the inside? Does your life sometimes feel small? Does it sometimes feel restricted? I know I sure feel like that. So if you're like me, let me encourage you from this passage in 2 Corinthians 6 verses 11 to 13. And I'm going to be reading from the Message here. It's Paul talking to the Corinthian church. And he says, dear Corinthians, or I guess we could say, dear the Wave Church, dear Ocean Grove, Ians. I can't tell you how much I long for you to enter this wide open, spacious life. We didn't fence you in. The smallness you feel comes from within you. Your lives aren't small, but you're living them in a small way. I'm speaking as plainly as I can and with great affection. Open up your lives, live openly and expansively. And it's a wonderful invitation, isn't it? That wide open, spacious life. You know, to me, it almost reminds me of the horizon. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm looking out, and it's boundless. It's not bound by anything. And I think that's God's intent for each and every one of us. You know, this invitation here is not restricted to, you know, the few peculiar people that you read about in the Bible that almost seem to have superhuman strength. Now, this is God's heart for all of us. And I think on the human side, this wide open, spacious life is about, it's like a matter of having your mind fully fixed upon God's nature, which is expansive and boundless, and having full confidence that He will provide everything that we need. And you know, I've been reflecting on this verse for most of this year, honestly, because I've felt small. My life has felt small. Even like my wife and I are, you know, we're living the days we once dreamed of, yet I still have this sense of restriction at times, or fear or anxiety or whatever it is. And God's really taken me on this journey from a place of being focused inwardly to a place of being focused outwardly. And it's almost like this journey from a place of fear, being fenced in by fear, to a place of love. And it's a love that is boundless. It's a love that is expansive, out of the fullness of God's sufficiency. So this week, my prayer for each and every one of you is that you may know by joyful experience this wide open, spacious life. When you have any times where, you know, you get stuck in your head, or you get stuck with whatever's going on, and you start to feel that sense of restriction, or that tightness, or that sense of being fenced in, I just encourage you to get outside, look at God's expansive creation, and just rest in that love, in that fullness of God's sufficiency.